Okay, right, this is another vlog, and it's on a different subject matter, and this time it's about, well, it's going to be a two-part vlog. Well, the first is going to be about fake people, and the second part is going to be about greedy companies, which I'll go into detail about, so hopefully I'll be able to fit it in all in one video by the time I get to my destination, and obviously if I've got enough energy, battery on this phone. So we'll get cracking away. One of the things that these days that I can't stand about some people is that I can't stand fake people that pretend to be somebody who they are, or they pretend to be insincere, but really, right, they just don't really kind of care. So I'll kind of start off with my personal backstory and things. Now, growing up, I think I may have said it in some of my videos, or maybe on Twitter and stuff, and I don't know if I've said it on here. I kind of had a hard life, which I'm not kind of going to go into and bore people into, because people don't want to hear it, and plus it's boring. And I was one of these people where I didn't have any, growing up, I didn't have any help or support, because half the time I was bullied, or people just shunned you, right, because basically you just didn't fit in, whether you were the wrong colour, or whether or not you just didn't have the money or the clothes, so you were shunned by people anyway. So for me, going through life in certain situations, for me, it was always a struggle. And in some ways it was a bad thing, and it was a good thing, because obviously the bad thing is that everything becomes a lot harder to sit there to do, because you have to do things twice as hard to get to where you want to be. Whereas if you had the help and support, you'd be a lot more positive, a lot more earning, getting things done. But then in the positive aspect is that it makes you a stronger character, because you learn to sit there to deal with things yourself. So in that sense, that's where the positive thing is, because it makes you into a stronger character. You become a survivor and more thick-skinned. Now, the reason why I have such an issue, say for example, with fake people, is you get some of the people that pretend to be your friend, or pretend like they care, but in kind of reality, right, they don't even care at all, especially with any situation that you're kind of going through. Like, for example, again, don't want to go into too much detail, but I've kind of lost a family member, and then obviously people aren't going to know unless you either broadcast it, or if you tell the people individually as to what's happening, as to what's going on. And you get a mixture of two types of people. You get the people that will turn around and say to you, "Oh, I'm sorry to hear that," which, is nice, because what words can you say to make somebody feel better? Because it's not going to bring the person back. Or you get the kind of people where they know, and then they don't even bother saying anything. And with the majority of people, I mean, there'll be one or two, that do want to talk, but most of them, they know that you're going through a bad time, and grief can be a hard thing to kind of swallow. Everybody has their own fresh point in how they deal with grief. Some people are stronger than others, but we all go through it. And it's by having that support and those people around you that know that you're kind of not alone in life, right? And then most of the people, as again, not all, not one of them sits there and says to you, if you ever sit there and need to talk about it, or if you need someone to talk to, or every other couple of days they ask you how you're feeling, or kind of what you're kind of going through. No, don't even bother. And yet, when people go through these situations, I'm always the first person to sit there and say, and to offer my help. And then at the end of the day, it's up to them if they want to sit there and take it or not. Because you can't make people do things that don't want to do. And then, not one of them really sits there and says, you're going through it, and that kind of hurts. I've had more support in general of people of social media who I've told in private, and I've never even met, and virtually all of them I've never even met. And then you get all the love and support of these people rather than the people that you kind of actually even know. So again, as I said, that's disappointing. Now, where I'm also going back onto the fake people, is like what kind of pisses me off, as I said, is when you get these people, they pretend like they care about you as a person, and the thing is they don't. Like, for example, they only care, like, as soon as they have a problem, you have to drop whatever it is that you're doing to sit there to help them. And then as soon as you fix it, or you listen to what their problem, or they have, you know, like a shoulder to cry on, or you genuinely do something that you can do to help them, they literally just blow you out. And the thing is, when I help people, right, I don't do it for kind of financial gain or for reward. Say, for example, people are going to give you money or buy something, or say for example, it's a girl, and some people think, oh, you know, I know there's some people out there that do it and think to themselves, well, if I sit there and I do something for this one woman, oh, I'm gonna get to sleep with her. No, I don't do that kind of thing. That's kind of not the way that I kind of operate. I just do it because, as I said at the beginning of the video, I've been in a position where I've never had that help, and then when I know I can sit there and I can help people, I will go out and help people. Because if you can sit there and make one person's life easier, then I'll do it, because that's just the way I was raised. It's just the way I am. But in this day and age now, people are just so selfish, where it seems to be like it's a dog eat dog world, where if people want to get to where they want to be in life, if it means stepping over, walking over people, whether it's people they've known for years or whatnot, they'll walk over you. Then you get, as I said before, you get the people who are insincere, where they'll go, oh, I'm sorry to hear about blah 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 blah, and then they smile their little teeth at you and smile, and they don't give a complete toss. It just feels like that. It's just a complete act. And that's why, in the video that I was saying about relationships and life, that's why I feel like in life, generally speaking, I don't want to do good for people anymore. And I don't mean I'm going to go out there and commit a crime or do something bad, but I just don't feel like wanting to sit there and do things to people. And this is generally speaking why I prefer animals, like for example with my cat, or some people have dogs, where especially if you've had them young, when they've been young, and then you get all that love, whether or not they hug you, or they rub their head on you, or they sleep on you, or whatever, put their paw on you, what they do, you get that genuine 100% commitment and love from that animal. But human beings, you don't get any of that at all, because all it is with these people is that it's just, oh, it's me. So it's like, I don't know, I just don't feel like in general, right, that I want to sit there and do this with people anymore. Because, as I said, people are fake, where they just, it's like I know even family members, people in my family, who I don't agree. Some of their how can I quite put it in the right terminology? I don't necessarily agree with their viewpoints, right? But I respect their viewpoints, because they're being open and truthful and honest by what they're being truthful and honest by what it is that they're saying, even though you don't agree with it. And I'd rather somebody sit there and tell me what they really think, rather than sitting there and then they just blow smoke up your ass just to sit there to keep you happy. It's all this brown eyes, where they're pretending to like you. And that's why, as I said, I don't like, it's really put me off by people, as I said, where these days there are just too many fake people that pretend, right, that they care and they like you, but in reality they kind of don't. And as I said before, there's too many insincere people where they pretend like they care.